Well, I think the Indians have miscalculated the the strength of their attraction for the global community and particularly the United States. I think during the last Trump administration and particularly during the Biden administration, the Indians got a sense that the United States was desperate for an alliance with India. And there is no doubt that the United States does see India as a potential strategic partner to balance China. But the price that the Indians were seeking were one, we will not commit totally to an alliance with the United States. We will keep our strategic autonomy. We will keep our relationship with Russia, with Iran, with other countries that were in an adversarial relationship with the United States. So I think that that was a major irritant as far as the US administration, and particularly Mr. Trump. When he came into his second term, desired a good relationship, and I think the US still wants a good relationship with India, but on its own terms. The US considers itself the sole global hegemon, the sole global, the greatest power, and therefore seeks relationships with other countries on its own terms. And though India's demand for strategic autonomy that is not consistent with what US seeks as India as a partner, as a strategic ally to counter China. India is not prepared to confront China. And I have said this for many years now to our American friends. India may want all the benefits of alliance with the United States, but it is not prepared and it is not in a position to confront China. Its vulnerabilities on the northern front are considerable. The Chinese are superior. It's an economy 5 times the size of India. They have better technology, better capabilities. And this was visibly demonstrated during the last conflict with Pakistan, where Pakistan's Chinese equipment and technology prevailed over Indian air defenses and Indian aircraft. So I think the conflict that we had in May with Pakistan further exposed the weakness of India in military terms, in strategic capabilities, and raised further questions, I believe, around the world, particularly in Washington, as to what is the price to pay for a partner who is not fully equipped, nor apparently is willing to confront China. And I think that is the strategic development which is important for us to understand at this time. But at the same time, Pakistan has to weigh its own options very carefully because the US will still want a partnership with India, even in a diminished capacity, if India is prepared to accept the conditions that Washington wants. And those are still in question. The trade negotiations are, I think, a symbol of the relationship that will develop between the United States and various countries, including Pakistan. And these trade relations will be an indication of the degree of intimacy that India or Pakistan want with the United States, or that what the United States wants with these two countries. So it'll be interesting to see how the negotiations with India progress. At the moment, they are in a difficult spot. Trump is frustrated with India for multiple reasons. And obviously, this is a moment that we have to watch very carefully. I don't think that Pakistan should be celebrating. I think we should be watching very carefully what happens. Well, let's see. See, first of all, what Mr. Trump has said are in the nature of threats. It is not implemented. It is a threat against Russia for not stopping the Ukraine war or not accepting the ceasefire. It is a threat against India for being difficult in the try Russian oil and gas and supporting the Russian economy. So these are threats, and we have to see whether they are used. It will agree to terms that are acceptable to the Trump administration. Oh, I'm sure they are working overtime in Washington and elsewhere, wherever they have the capability to influence U.S. policy. I am confident they are working hard to reverse the situation. Some are advising Modi to accept Trump's terms. Some are advising the Washington end as to the fact that India is such a big country. It is a potential ally against China, a democratic country, etc., and that Washington should treat it with preferential treatment. So these things are surely going on, and obviously we'll have to see what the results are, both in the short term and in the long term. Uh, no, I think it's a kind of veiled reference to the fact that India is buying oil from Russia, and perhaps it should buy oil from Pakistan if Pakistan is going to produce American company-led uh, oil, oil products. It was a kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of remark, a sting to the Indians. So obviously we shouldn't put too much weight into whether this will become a reality or not. Of course, if we have become an oil producer, we can sell oil, but we're not there yet. I mean, um, oil exploration has happened in the past. American companies have been onshore. Occidental was there, BP was there. So we've had American companies, they walked out 10 years ago. So we would have to sort of analyze on what terms they would come in, whether these terms are favorable for Pakistan or not favorable. What's the competition? It can't be a monopoly. So we'll have to see all of that. And similarly, on all the other issues that we are hoping to develop relations with the United States, the mineral resources, we have to see what the terms are. Extraction of minerals is one thing, processing of minerals is another. Countries which benefit from mineral mining are those countries which not only extract but also process those minerals where the value addition comes in. So we'll have to see what kind of deal we are doing and what kind of deal is on offer as such. And similarly on crypto, crypto can be used to mobilize capital. It is a new form of mobilizing capital, but as everybody knows, crypto is volatile. It can go up very quickly and it can go down very quickly. So, and it is affected not only by the transaction you are doing, but the global economic situation. So if there is a downslide in international stocks and bonds, it could have a multiplier effect on crypto. If things go up, it'll go up very fast and your assets will multiply. If it goes down, it'll multiply also. and therefore it's a volatile product. It's still in its inception. We need to have the rules and regs very clear in order to attenuate the risks involved in the cryptocurrency world. I don't think we should interpret this as favoring Pakistan over India. I think our diplomacy has been good. We've been smart. We have given credit to the United States and particularly to President Trump for bringing about the ceasefire. We have not been defiant in our negotiations. It remains to be seen how good or bad an agreement we get. We'll have to see the details of what the trade agreement is to evaluate, how good or bad it is. But we have been more or less compliant without, I hopefully without compromising our larger strategic interest, which, as we all know in Pakistan, our relationship with China is critical for our strategy, for our security and our sovereignty, as we saw in the last May conflict. So there is space for us, and China is open to giving us that space to develop a good relationship with the United States, because China itself is negotiating with the United States. But obviously that space is not unlimited in negotiating with the US, and we will have to be circumspect. We will have to calibrate our relationship so that it does not erode in any way our strategic partnership with China. I think India, and obviously, when it is facing difficulties with the US, and with Russia preoccupied with its war in Ukraine, India obviously cannot leave itself strategically exposed, and therefore will seek some form of normalization with China. And they have done so. A resumption has taken place. The Chinese are open to such normalization. Their aspiration is that India will join in a trilateral arrangement between China, Russia, and India in order to have a Euro-Asia bloc, which would be designed to stabilize the world and to counter the hegemony of the United States. But, ultimately, we have to see that there are major differences between India and China which have not been reconciled. There is not only the border issue, but there is a larger Indian aspiration to be an equal of China. And that aspiration has not died down. It will not die down because it's the Indian psyche which desires to be seen as a global power, the equal of China. And that is what drives its rivalry with China. And that is why it is attractive for the United States to have India as a partner, because there is a convergence of objectives between the United States and India. But India, as I said, India is not prepared to pay the price of being a subordinate partner of the United States. And at the same time, India is not prepared to accept that it is not the equal of China and will not, in the foreseeable future, will not be an equal of China. It does not accept either of these two propositions, and that is the dilemma that Indian foreign policy makers have faced today.